Yeah, cool. We can do it wherever. It don't matter. Same works as well. Live over at Palm Beach Dyno, guys.
What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? Oh, let's see. There we go. What's up, Jared? We got Jared here.
Yo, what up?
We haven't done anything in a while,
Nope.
so we figured we'd hang out. We have nothing planned, just like normal. That's how we roll. But
yeah, Taco Tuesday, Tech Tip Tuesdays. I had no content filmed. Christy's away right now. Been real busy. Run around like crazy. I think, can we go sideways on the Facebook one?
Nah, once you start.
That's
you got to
lame.
start it that way.
Oh,
so,
man. Fail. Anyways.
I have a ton to do, but this is more fun.
Yeah, of course, man.
So anyway, so what do you guys been up to at Lethal? Like,
dude, we just
like,
been busy, man. Gosh, we had like a crazy busy like Labor Day weekend and stuff like that. Everything was pretty nuts down here with the hurricane coming around and stuff. So kind of, everything was nuts for a little while we geared up, like locked everything down, but we're back into it now.
What did you guys do? Did you guys like go into the shop? You guys work from home?
We pretty much work from home the couple days because we gave like the employees like a chance to actually like secure their homes and do the shopping and stuff like that.
That's what people don't understand. I mean, it's probably not that exciting to people, but people go, well, nothing even happened. But you got to take a day or two to get ready. It takes a day or two to take down all the shit. I mean, I had this place, really tied up and everything. So that's one of the only disadvantages to living down here, and it doesn't happen that often. So
and people don't understand how crazy it gets. Like when this stuff, like when a storm's approaching like that, it's madness. I mean, like,
4 days before anything happened, 5 days, I couldn't get fuel. I mean, I couldn't closer actually because
I don't think people have ever seen like gas stations with lines down the entire street. Every pump is locked up, and then stations are out of fuel. They're getting fuel. I mean, Publix is crazy. Anywhere where you need to get like food or anything like that is nuts. So,
I get comment on that and then just say click on the link.
What's up, Rob?
Click on the link.
Hi, Grandma.
And then that way everything will come through here.
There he is, the Tomb Maker. What's going on? Everybody here,
What's up, guys? All right, who do we got? We got any questions? We're going to be doing some Q&A. We're not going to start there yet, but
yeah, so there is no actual format, guys, today. We're just rolling with it. I figured I'd come on down. I brought some tacos from Tacos Al Carbone, so we can eat some good food.
Yeah.
And hang out and just BS.
Let's talk GT500 real quick because a lot of people are talking build dates, when they're going to get them. I got my build date. I figured everybody got theirs that had ordered, but I guess some people haven't still. So
when's yours getting built?
October 7th.
So we're in an October build date as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know there's one build, like a build before that, like a September build.
Yeah,
time
there was
frame.
like a last week of September, which I didn't get. I was, I kind of took a crapshoot on who I would buy it from because either you go to a big dealer and you might be 2, 3, 4, 5, or I went to a smaller dealer and they only get one, and I got that one. So, but it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it's like, how do you choose? Like, you do like, because we're down here in Florida, and then obviously the cars are being produced up in Michigan.
Yeah.
So like, who's going to get the car first? Do you order a car from a dealer that's up in Michigan, like right outside, a small dealer that's going to get it first, or because obviously they got to transport the car, so it could take a couple weeks after the car's built to actually get here.
Well, and also you got what options you're going to get. Like, is that going to affect when yours gets built? Because when I ordered mine, I really wanted the track pack, although I probably shouldn't spend that money right now anyway, retardant and all that. But I thought that they would delay building those, but that's what you got, right?
I ordered a track pack, the carbon package.
Yeah, and yours is getting
we're
built at the same
scheduled
time.
for October, but I mean, I hope.
Well, there could always be a delay, like the wheels aren't made and shit like that. But at least they're trying. Like I was like, they're not even gonna try and make those till friggin' November,
Yeah.
December. But I was wrong.
So we may not be like the first to get a car, but I can assure you that when we do get it, we're going full on.
Speaking of that, I can't speak for Jared, but for me, if you get a GT500 before I get a GT500 and you can get it here, all your tuning is free. First guy,
Look
not
at that.
everybody, not everybody, but the first
Cool.
guy who gets one, who wants to get the car here before I get mine. Once I get mine, that deal's off. If I get mine before you guys get one, you're screwed.
Yeah. Hey, and I'll offer up also some free lethal parts that we have in development already for the car.
Probably better just to do
yeah.
this, so we can both look at the same,
Yeah,
same direction.
I know, right? Can we? Yeah,
No, this works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, actually,
it's, I know there's a
No,
lot.
I gotta-
going on.
I gotta look
A lot
at the,
going on. We don't know
comments.
which phones where we're going. We got Ken filming. I'm
Ricky's
filming
here.
over here. We got Ricky. What's up, Ricky?
all right.
So yeah, we've got a bunch of parts in development as well. I actually was able to spend some time with the car, thankfully, and get to see what works, what doesn't, and what we can do. And we've got a bunch of stuff in development, as well as a couple other big companies that we deal with already have stuff in the works. So you get a car early before Ken does, bring it on in, and we're gonna hook it up. And
Let me ask you this. So, talking about development and new parts, and the big thing that's on my radar is that transmission. What got any insight there as far as what it's going to handle? Right? Obviously,
I don't know horsepower wise.
I know they're gonna. It'll take its stock like
Yeah.
total abuse, but
Well, like 1,000 wheel horsepower,
200,
like-
300.
yeah.
Like, where are we going to start breaking these transmissions in there? A brand new transmission. So, what happens at that point when we break them? Like,
Dealer.
who's going to
Yeah.
have parts? I mean, what do the GT500 or GTR guys pay for those trans?
Yeah.
20? I don't know. Does
It's
anybody
big
know?
money. I think those,
Well,
yeah,
Chef
those,
builds all their DC.
those transmissions are no joke. I
They're
mean,
20, 30,
they're not cheap.
$40,000 transmissions, and there's zero warranty. Like, literally, you
Yeah.
can buy one of those trannies and destroy it, and they're like, all right,
Hopefully,
tough luck.
I mean, we've had good luck. Hey, look, the 10-speed auto has been a great transmission.
I
It's held
agree.
a lot of power.
Yeah.
We've seen some failures, but in general, out of all of it, I mean, the car, cars making 1,100, 1,200 horsepower. I mean, with just some clutches, and a,
Well, I mean, Chef's expensive.
Yeah,
Like
I hope
converter.
I hope that's the case. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in it for whatever, for the long haul. If we gotta build expensive transmissions, that's fine. I don't really want to.
25
It's kind of hard to.
Stage 4.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's see. We got
We
any
got a
questions?
couple guys that got some questions. Then we'll roll over here to a couple guys that want to say hello and stuff like that. And then
This
we'll,
guy's just this guy's saying performance pack or not. You get Mustang Rocky saying it's going to take longer because of the carbon fiber. Well, based on build dates right now, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah.
I just got a lot of highs. You got any questions?
Let's see here. Questions.
Rob's
You guys got any
heard a
questions?
joke
Because
in
we're
here.
talking about the 2020 GT500 right now. These guys got snow and stuff like that.
God, we were looking. Holy shit, dude! I gotta show you guys something.
What's that?
Kobe.
Oh wait, is that the broken one, or is that the broken one, or the? Did we not see that up there?
The camera?
Oh, that's not the one we were
We're
looking
gonna
for.
roll with that one.
Oh shit! No, we took a TV off the
missing a
wall.
TV.
We took a TV off the wall because it wasn't a smart TV for our waiting room, right? And then I put it aside, put a smart TV up to make it easier to use the apps and shit. So the other day, the Dyno monitor breaks. So I'm like, oh, go grab that other monitor. We can't fuck that. How do you lose a 50-inch TV? That's not it though.
Oh, it's not?
I
Okay.
thought so, but that's the one.
Someone walk out with a TV or what?
But okay, so that's what everybody said. Somebody walked
We
out
got
with. But who the
cameras. It disappeared.
Who's gonna walk out with a freaking 50-inch TV when there's
Me.
electronics laying off? Yeah, but dude, if you're smart, you're gonna pick up my cell phone. That's worth way more than a TV.
$250.
Dude, you never know.
Nah.
It's probably hiding somewhere here.
don't-
Maybe. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? We're talking 2020 GT500 right now.
TVs.
Yeah,
Best
sorry.
Buy special.
Eric Brooks says rated to
Hurricanes.
900 newton meters, I guess. Is that
900
it?
meters is not 900 horsepower.
900. Yep. All right.
650.
NMRA Bowling Green this year. I will not be going. That's a little too far out of the area for me. You guys going?
I might be going. Depends on what. The only reason I would go is if I have some customers doing the 10 or 80 shootout thing, and I don't know if I have people ready in
Okay.
time. So
Got it.
I got a couple pretty badass cars going together, but I don't know if everybody's gonna be ready.
There's a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
What do you got?
This is a good question because I think I might be taking a slightly different approach. What's your plans for your GT500? Are you going like record? Like
We're
that,
gonna,
first
no.
guy?
You know, as always, we don't need to be the quickest out there. We don't need to have the fastest time out of anyone. I think that with like as Gold member, as a great example, and previous cars of ours, a great start would be, you know, pretty much documenting build from the beginning. You know, what's it going to do with just a tune? What's it going to do with
Right.
with a you know a pipe on it, a mid pipe or some headers?
Some pipe.
You know, yeah, exactly. What's it going to do? Some pipe. Rob loves the pipe.
Yeah, you know.
So, I mean, we'll start out with that, some basic mods, do a pulley, and then move on to the bigger stuff, you know, different intercooler, upgrade, a different throttle body. And then eventually, when we get to it, we're going to do, you know, the blower on it. So
Yeah.
we'll, of course, be slapping a Whipple on it, my homie Dustin Whipple.
I'm thinking
you know.
I'm gonna take it really slow because there's gonna be enough guys going for the record, and you know it's great. I'm not saying I don't want the record. I would love if I had an unlimited budget, I'd have two.
Yeah.
Right, one to just say the first day I'm gonna do shit to it and
Yeah.
kill it. But I mean, not many people have the budget to have two.
Yeah.
So I'd rather A, not break it, and B, really slowly go through the mods because that's what everybody wants to see, right? That's what our job is, to show everybody what these cars can do. And out of 100 guys, there might be one guy that's going to duplicate your record, and the other 99 are going
Yeah,
to
of
do it
course.
the way that we're talking about doing.
Well, the majority of the people that we find don't just slap a blower on, you know,
Right.
build a motor and do the full return system. There's a few of them, you know, but I think initially it's going to be people just doing the basic bolt-ons. You know, what's it going to do with a pulley and a tune?
Yep.
You know, and
I mean, I'm
and
100% team Whipple for sure, but if you're putting a Whipple on yours, maybe I'll put twin turbos on mine.
Great idea.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Or keep the blower.
What wasn't
Yeah.
it rumored to have twin turbos from the factory? All
Yeah,
those
I would
turbos
love to
from,
do. I would love to do that like right out of the get go because obviously not many people are going to do that. But
Oh, it'd be sick.
the whole reason I'm buying the car is to you know, most people are going to leave the blower on, so
Yeah.
I got to go that route first. Probably be a year before I even start on a turbo project, I would say. At least.
There's going to be a lot of possibilities with the car.
I'm sure
I mean,
there's
a lot-
somebody
yeah.
that's going to do turbos before me, if I'm waiting.
It's all like you said. I
If you need a
don't
tune.
think you need to be the fastest or you know have the best record or make the most horsepower at all. I think that again, showing your customers what it's going to do. You know, there's way more people out there who want to see the step by step, the simple bolt-on stuff that don't want to just start modding a $75,000, $100,000 car. You know
Well,
what I
and
mean?
again,
So-
it's going to bring a whole new segment to our, like, people from outside the Mustang world. This car is going to bring people, just like the S550 Mustang GT brought in a lot of ex-BMW and Porsche guys and all that because the car became to that refined level. Now, the Mustang's always been awesome, but it's refined like never before.
Oh, yeah.
But there was never the GT500 version of that. So now you're going to get the guys, well, maybe the Mustang GT spoke to the 3 Series BMW. I don't know shit about BMWs, but like the middle BMW.
Logan does. Logan.
But,
Do it.
you know,
Logan,
but this is going to bring
back.
over the guys. This is going to bring over the guys that
Yeah.
might have spent 70 to 100 on a Mercedes, a BMW,
Yeah.
Audi, any of those. So there's going to be a lot. I think this is going to take off a lot more than people think, this car. You know, because before, the GT, you still ought to be a Mustang guy if you wanted a GT500, I think. There's some guys that would buy one that weren't Mustang guys, but
Yeah.
it was still a Mustang, right? I mean, it's still solid axle, badass car, but there was always that asterisk, right? There's no asterisks anymore. That's
Yeah.
the way I look at it. You know?
I mean, the car is definitely refined. Obviously, you know, we've seen a lot of stuff from our good friend Billy Johnson. Billy, my man out there, who was involved with the testing and development of it, and he's been posting some stuff recently and stuff. And I mean, the car's got, you know, when you got guys like that beating on the car, talking to the developers about, hey, we got to do this, we got to change this. This works good. This will work better. You know, it's been in the works for a long time. And not many people think that these cars are just happen like this. And like, oh, they just decided to build a 2020 GT500. Let's just do it.
They've probably been building since 2013.
Right, think
These
about
are
what goes into
years
time
and
in building
years
like
and
one.
years in development.
Think how long it takes to take a GT and turn it into that power level.
Yep.
And we don't do 4% of what Ford's doing as far as testing different things and calibration and parts durability.
Emissions.
It's just through the roof.
all that
Yeah.
shit they have to go through.
Real quick, since it's in the background, for those of you that
Oh, yeah,
don't
that
follow
thing's
me
sick.
on my personal Facebook,
Check this out.
we're getting into the side-by-side tuning. This is something that we don't have on our website yet, but we're making some awesome power. This just put down 130 at the wheels, put down 100 with the stock tune, so very, very good. We'll pretty much we'll be using the DynoJet software. Anything that DynoJet supports, we will do. If we haven't done it, it has to be in person first, and then once we've done it, we'll be offering these remotely. So if you need one of those, just let us know and we can get on a waiting list.
That thing's pretty awesome. I got a couple questions here, just a few guys I'll respond to here. Holt is asking when we're going to get one. We do have one on order through our dealer, Wykert Ford, over in Lake Wales. My buddy Philip, great guy to deal with, is always taking great care of us. So we ordered up a car with him with his golden ticket allocation, and it's expected, I guess, October build date. So I don't know, maybe early November, hopefully something like that. We see a car.
Usually, and this happened when the S550 Mustang came. I'm glad mine's not in the first week, because I don't know if you remember when the S550s came out, they trashed a large portion of the first run of cars because there was a problem with a quarter panel or something like that. So I hope that's not, well, I'm like in the second week, so hopefully they catch that in the first week.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually I think it gets built, then they go through the first few will go through, not first few, but the first few weeks will probably go through some serious quality control.
Of course.
And then obviously it's going to depend on how they're delivering it and where. We're far from them, so that's going to be a factor.
Well, looking forward to it, and hopefully they get it right, you know. Also, going to the Holly Ford Festival in Bowling Green, we are not, unfortunately, sorry about that. Any guesses on real quarter mile times stock? I've heard, or you know, like rumors of it going like mid-10s or something like that.
I think it'll be in the
10s out of
10s.
the box.
I think it'll be 10s.
Something like that. I mean, with some good weather.
I'd say, I'll go on record and say it'll go, I mean, except for like super extreme conditions like Colorado maybe. I think it'll go 10s anywhere.
Yeah.
And mid-10s like.
So we'll see what it does in the swamp here down in
Yeah, basically
Florida.
what I'm saying is
in the
we'll run 1090s,
yeah.
and the
they'll
North
run
guys will run
1050s.
1050s.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't have it as good as other guys do with the mine shaft there, but
we
we still do it. We still do it we hold it down pretty good for being such a hot climate down here and a lot of humidity and stuff. Not the greatest track conditions. So
yeah, I saw a question of like why, you know, it's a shame, or why didn't Ford put the 10R80 in the GT500? All right, well, you haven't said anything. Tell us why.
why is that?
Because it breaks. I'm just kidding. No, the DCT is a lot more fun on the track.
Yeah, I mean, the DCT is gonna, now, maybe because of testing reasons, it would have been nice if it was an option, right? Because yes, the DCT is an overall, is badass, and a large portion of the reason I want one, because I've never had a car, like a performance car with a DCT, but at the same time, it's not the best for drag racing, so it would have been cool if they would have offered it with a 10R. Why?
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
I did hear that they were testing the
I heard they
speed.
tested
They
it,
did test it,
but I don't know why they didn't do it.
that was before like any information was released on the car, like any of the specs and stuff like that. They were in testing of it and stuff like that. There was a lot of stuff on the hush, you know, which is a lot, you know, also stuff that you may have heard, maybe true, maybe not. But yeah, I know, right? It's a good workout.
Yeah.
But like I did hear they were testing it, and then obviously they chose to go with the DCT. But and that's a huge like controversy
I think
as
that's
well.
due to, I think a lot of that has to do with public perception.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of an
I feel like they're
automatic,
getting something
it's like, you know, exotic level.
Well, it gives it that other level of exclusivity, you know, that this GT500 is getting this.
They can appeal
It's
to
not,
And obviously-
if you had a 10-speed, everybody would be like, oh, it's just a GT with a supercharger on it or
and
something
nobody's
like that,
going to
right?
argue the DCT would be better on a road course
Yeah,
than
yeah,
a 10R.
Of course.
For sure.
yeah. So, what else about the car? We're talking, you know, I did have a question for you, because, you know, about this whole time when like, they
Whipple.
released...
Edelbrock or Whipple, Mustang GT Whipple. I don't know. I mean, obviously, supercharger wise, I'm sure Jared's going to recommend Whipple.
Whipple.
But my two power adders of choice are Hellion and Whipple. So if you want turbo, go Hellion. If
Yeah.
you want a supercharger, go Whipple. I mean, we support all the brands. I'm friends with ProCharger, Vortex,
Same here.
and they're all great. But
Yep.
if I'm going to make a recommendation, I got to pick somebody. And Whipple checks every box that I need checked personally. And my last supercharger on a vehicle I owned was Whipple. 2016 was Whipple.
I mean, we have good relationships with everyone out there who builds blowers. I mean, you know, VMP, ProCharger, Pax and Vortec, Edelbrock, all those guys we
Now,
sell.
here's the funny thing is,
We
okay,
support.
I'm going to stop you right there because I put this in people's heads and I'm going to keep doing it. You named all those companies.
Yep.
Can you name the owner of any of those companies? Have you ever talked to the owner of any of those companies?
You know what? I don't believe I know any of the owners of the companies. I
How
mean,
often
the
how often do you talk to Dustin Whipple?
Dustin is my homeboy. I love Dustin. Dustin Whipple has
How often
been.
do you talk to him?
I talk to him pretty much on a daily basis.
Right.
I mean, I even
So do
FaceTime him.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
You guys are super close.
Yeah.
I mean, you go there. I got to go visit him. I mean, we're pretty good friends. We talk on the phone a lot. But I mean, I text him almost every day.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, am I using it because he's my friend? No. I believe in his product, and I have access to the people that matter when it matters.
Oh yeah.
That's
of course.
why.
And I mean, the fact is that we've been running their kits on our cars since we started Lethal Performance. You know, going
Well, you
all the way
guys
back.
were real
I became
big
friends
and-
with Dustin in 2005.
You were big in that whole ramp up of the new Whipple.
Exactly,
You
when
know, you were
the
huge in
supply chain of blowers changed.
Back when I hated you. No, I didn't hate you.
Yeah, we're all good.
Me and Jared
I
have
don't
a
really like
long,
Ken anyway,
long
so.
history on
No, we've been
on,
around-
on internet forums, but we're buds.
Oh yeah. We used to battle it out, man. To battle it out, the tuning side
But
of
see,
it, the
that,
fuel
but,
system
that's,
stuff.
but see, that's what makes good friends, because we had the same competitive, hardcore personality.
Of course, man.
And now we just
It's like,
agree more than we
it's like
used to.
understanding your wife. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You know
Yeah, it
what she
takes a
likes,
while.
what she doesn't like.
Yeah, it takes-
So you learn after a while. But that's a great point though. Like again, about the supercharger kit. Like I don't know any other of the owners or anything like that, and also it'd be very uncharacteristic of us to put a different supercharger on one of our cars other than a Whipple. And again, not only because we're friends with them. And we have that connection to them is because of their product is always evolving and improving. you
Well,
know?
based on what I just said about me and you being competitive and very hungry, that's another reason I like Whipple, because if I have an idea on a product, I hit Dustin up and I'm like, hey, what about this? What about that? He's like, yeah, it's a good idea. Like he's always like open, not just like, oh, I'm rich and I'm just gonna sit back and I own Whipple. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what anybody could do in his position. I mean, you know, he doesn't have to work every day, post on
No,
forums every day,
no.
Facebook. I mean, he comes off to a lot of people as harsh. That's not harsh. That's passion.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Of course.
He's passionate.
I mean, when I'm there in Fresno watching him work, it is nonstop, and he's in there all day. Even like our time, we ended whatever
Yeah.
5 o'clock here, which is whatever.
Yeah.
He's going nonstop, and even after he leaves Whipple and goes home, it's like nonstop. And I kind of not feel bad for him, but he has a passion for it. He's so involved in it and loves it so much, and it means so much to him. It's his product, it's his livelihood, it's their legacy. You know what I mean? So a lot of hard work and determination goes into that. And cheers to him, man, for doing it. They've built.
And I think that's
the company up.
important. Obviously, other companies can be successful without an owner, without being owner driven, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's important, right? Like you, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
of course.
you drive Lethal. If you said, you know what, I'm ready to retire, and you sold it, Lethal would be very successful without you, but not the same.
It
right?
wouldn't be the same.
Not the same. It's not the same when the founder is no longer part of the company or the person. You got to have some skin in the game, right? Like if
course,
this place fails,
yeah.
like I don't have a GT500, I don't have a house. You know?
What are you guys gonna do without the bloopers and stuff? I mean, really, seriously.
Right. So enough of that. But that's kind of what the whole reason I brought up Whipple is like there's so many reasons other than like which kit's better. There's all those little details and like what is that company going to do for you when something's wrong? What are they going to how often are they going to develop a new product? Like, did Whipple need to come out with a Gen 4 2.9? Nope. The Gen 2 was pretty good, but they just kept going.
Oh yeah, did they have to go back and do upgrades for the the
Cobras,
Cobra guys and the
I love
GT500
Cobras.
guys?
I
I mean,
tune
it's
a
amazing.
Cobra every week almost still
Yeah.
to this day. But I mean, I don't know how big that market is. I don't think
No.
it's big. I think it's passion that brings that blower to that market.
Yeah.
A
Well, there's
businessman,
yeah.
somebody's checking the pennies, they'd be like, no, that's not worth it.
It's funny, a
Yeah.
lot of the guys who actually do upgrade the blowers from the gens on the Cobra guys are like OG Cobra guys that I know from back in the day,
Right.
like SVD Performance days, Modular Forge days, original Cobra owners, who've gone through over the time that I've been in Lethal, have bought a Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, and now they're moving up to a Gen 5 for that car, and it's like, these are most of the same guys, but it's great that market is still hot. I mean, the Cobra market's been awesome
Always
for
will
us.
be.
So yeah,
So
definitely.
speaking of cars,
Mhm.
obviously, you got your 8-second pass out of the stock motor.
Woo-hoo.
Does that mean it's going up on eBay soon, and focus on the GT500, or are you going to take that car farther?
I'm gonna take it. I would like to get a couple passes out of the car with some better weather, and like a few other mods to it. Just some like bumper supports and stuff like that. Other than that, I think. Once it's cool and I get a couple passes out of it, maybe improve on my 897,
Down the
and
middle.
then move the car out.
Yeah.
And so if you guys are, anyone interested,
The reason I
in a
bring
Gold
that
member,
up is, I always wind up tuning cars that he's owned in the past, and then I always wind up tuning them after the fact. I don't actually tune his car, which some people that don't
You
know
have
the situa-
tuned our cars.
No, I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, exactly.
It's not a taboo subject to me. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit. I like Jared, and he's my buddy, and somebody else tunes his car. It's okay.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I know people
But you
that are
still get to tune
I know
it.
people that are hairstylists, and I don't go to them to
Yeah.
cut my hair. It's not that you don't respect our tuning, you sell our tuning, but only one person can tune it, and you got lots of tuners.
Yep.
So people ask me that all the time. Like, well, you and Jared are buddies, but you don't tune his cars right now. And I'm like, so? You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
We're still heavily involved in
Yeah,
what
we're
we do
involved.
together
We
and
talk
stuff
all
like
the
that.
time, and we do
And it's
stuff.
good. It's cool
Yeah.
seeing some of our cars still end up, like later on down the line. You're like, oh man, I just tuned a car of yours in Dubai or whatever.
Well, I flew to Kuwait like, I don't even know how long ago that was, like 6
That's
years
years ago, yeah.
And
Khaled,
it was 10 to 12 cars. And I think 4 of them, or 3 of them were ex-lethal cars.
That's
It
awesome.
was your 2010, the black 07.
And I think
And-
the 13 went over to.
Was there a blue one? Did you have a blue one?
A blue one was local. That was what's his face who turned it.
Maybe it was only 2 of them were
Yeah.
yours. But anyway, I had already tuned them.
It's pretty
and,
awesome, though.
And I went over there to retune them. It was pretty fun.
We are worldwide, guys. The Ford market, the Mustang market, Lethal Performance, Palm Beach Dyno, worldwide. We're not just down here local, Florida or states. I mean, we've got a lot of customers all over the world. So
I'm going to look at a couple more questions
go
here.
ahead, do it, and I'll go through mine after this.
Jorge, have we worked with NAS 550 heads camshafts? We haven't done a ton with camshafts, a few. They'll all make over 500 once you put cams in. Well, it depends on what 550 you're talking about. 18 plus will make more power. Obviously, we haven't done many cams in those or any cams in those. But you should make 500 plus on a cammed and a S550.
Sour cream or guacamole? I'm a guac guy. I love avocado, so guac guy. You guac guy or sour cream?
Both. Yeah.
You got to choose one or the other. What are you doing, man?
On my current diet, I have to pick sour cream.
There you have it.
Can't. Plants are for.
Whipple for the win.
Avocados are bad. If you're vegan, then you're killing animals. Just kidding. Anyway, let's see. If a Mustang GT beats a GT 500, it won't be because of the trim. All right, here's a Whipple question. My buddy installed a Whipple on his Coyote, and he wants to put the car in an actual dyno. I suggested you guys as the best Whipple tuners. What would you say to him about your tunes through email? That's a good question. Remote tuning
I
versus
did want to talk
dyno
about
tuning.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to this. Some remote tuners will tell you, I can tune exactly the way I can remotely that I can in person. That's true, but with an asterisk next to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true if I've tuned those already, right? So a Whipple,
Yeah.
dude,
You got it down.
I mean, we do. How many Whipples, Rob, do we do a month? I mean,
God,
I mean, it could go anywhere from like 3 to 15 in a month. Like I'm talking like new ones.
Yep.
You know, not Cobras and all.
So
that
you
stuff.
have the experience
Yeah.
with the setup, and you can tune it easily.
Right. So, and that's what makes us valuable. Like a lot of people will say, why would I get remote tuned when I can go to Bob locally and get it tuned? Well, if Bob has only touched 1 or 0 Whipple S550s and I've touched 100, who's going to do better? Do you want to pay Bob 3 weeks of dyno time to get it figured out? That
Yep.
I invested months of my own time to get your tune to the point where, you know, a lot of guys go, oh, you only did like 2 revisions. All right, well, did you want to tune the stuff worse to start
Yeah.
and then take more revisions, or would you rather a tune that's pretty good out of the gate, you know? And, you know, we get hit up all the time to tune combinations that we haven't really touched a whole lot locally, so we don't do it. But then once we, like these
Yeah.
side-by-sides, you know? Guys, I'm getting lit up. Oh, okay, all right, remote. I'm like, not yet. I got to tune.
You got your hands
If you have
on
this
it.
exact one,
Yeah, yeah.
I will tune it.
With the
But if
same
it's not this
setup.
one, I'm not going to tune
Yeah.
it. So that's really the main difference, in my opinion, between dyno tuning and remote tuning if you're talking about the same person, like
Yeah.
me. If you're comparing one remote tuner to a different dyno tuner, there's just no way to do that, you know? A dyno doesn't make it any better. The most important thing is that the person hitting the
Experience with that
button
car.
knows that car.
Yeah,
That's
and
one-
the setup.
Right, and here's another important thing, is just because somebody's an expert GM tuner doesn't make them a Ford tuner. In fact, it probably, I don't want to talk crap about GM, I like GM.
Maybe
but
worse.
Talk crap,
Probably-
talk crap.
probably gives them a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's so different. And it's the same way in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
We tune Corvettes here, I tune Camaros here, but we don't do it remotely, because we just don't do enough of it. You know, that's the main reason. And, I
Of
feel like
course.
we're one of the best at Fords. GM, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference.
Well, I was thinking about that on the way down here to talk about that whole thing about the custom tuning and being able to remote tune a car, and that's totally perfect. Like a lot of guys will, you know, hey, I can take it to, you know, Billy Bob down here. I heard he's great. He tuned my friend's Mustang. You know what I mean? Or you can take it to Ken over at Palm Beach Dyno and Rob, who have tuned hundreds of that car. Meanwhile, Billy Bob's only, you know, tuned one or two of that combination, who do you think has the experience with it? Who knows, you know, knows the ins and outs of it, the you know, the special things about it, you know, to make the throttle perfect, you know what I mean? The more cars that you've tuned with that setup, the more experience you have with it, the better off you're going to be. So yeah, is Ken going to be able to remote tune a car, you know, that Whipple setup on that car that he's tuned 100 times better than the local guy who's tuned maybe one or two of them, and taking, you know, throwing darts at, you know, different tables and make it right? What do you think? This guy right here.
Well, and they're iterations of each other. That's another important thing, right? Like 18, very difficult platform. People are having more trouble with that than anything else.